May govannen, niblings. I'm Eklinaar. Let's play Lord of the Rings Online, episode 119. So back here at Grimbjorn's Lodge, because there's something I've forgotten to do. I could have done it last level. I definitely need to do it now that I'm level 40. I need to visit the Beorning trainer here.
Greetings.
That's not what I want. I want to
What can I
browse
do
the
for
shop.
you?
So I need to buy these books, because these books unlock some class deeds that will give me trait points when I complete them. So, gotta buy them all. Alright, so all of them send me to talk to Bilbo in Rivendell to get these deeds started. So, while I'm on my way to do that, my milestone is still set to Tinudir. I never set it to Rivendell. While I'm on my way to do that, I want to do one last thing in Evendim. Now, I know I said in the last episode that I was going to head on to Numinous. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do that now. The epic book chain eventually leads into Numinous, and I'm going to do that part instead. So, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do this exploration deed here. There's these 2 exploration points that I haven't found yet, and there's some other exploration stuff I can do in Evendim, particularly in Numinous, but I'll do that once the epic book chain takes me there.
How can I be of service?
Alright, so I want to head over here. These 2 areas happen to be on the west side of the lake. So, let's see, I believe one is up here, and then one is down here. So, I will start heading to those places. So, while I'm writing, I'll talk more about what I'm going to do instead. So, I'm not going to do Numinous. There are some quests you can do in Numinous at level 40. And they're interesting. They go into the history of Numinous, which is pretty neat if you're a big Lord of the Rings world nerd, because it talks about the history of the city and what happened to the city and what's going on with the city now. And it's not all canon, but some of it's stuff that the developers of the game made up, but it's pretty neat. But like I said, the epic book chain takes me there later, and I didn't want to go to Numinous twice in these videos. It's a little redundant. And going through the level 40 quest chains, while they are neat, they are also very long. And it would just take a really long time to do them. But there is this really neat chain where you, a ranger kind of becomes your companion and follows you around, and you do some quests together. But it's a very, very long chain. I recently did it on the Legendary server, and it took me like an hour and a half, at least, just to do that one quest chain. Here's Swiftbrook. Isn't that pretty? So the other thing is that I'm not going to do the Tomb of Elendil, at least not right now. I have looked into that. I can't solo it, or if I can, it would just be excruciatingly painful. I may go back and do it at a much higher level, just because I think the end of that quest chain is neat. Oh, I don't need to go up here. There's some giants here. Oh, one of them's chasing me. So I'm going to skip the Tomb of Elendil for now. I'll have to come back when I'm over level. It's really not designed to be soloed. And I'm sure it's possible, but what I suspect would happen is I would get right up until just about the end, and then I wouldn't be able to get past the boss. Not at this level. So, I think what I'm going to do is move on to the Misty Mountains instead. And then someday when the Epic Book Chain brings me back to Rivendell, I'll check it out. I'll check out all the stuff that I am skipping now. Okay, here's the Twisted Grove. There we go. Oh, excellent. How about that? That got me to Kindred with the Wardens of Innuminous. Perfect. It's a great spot to leave Rivendell on. Alright, so, yes, I want to return to Bree. Because now I'm headed to Rivendell to talk to Bilbo. Loading in debris usually takes a little while. Alright.
What can I do for you?
Oh, look. So this is something I don't know that I've shown you in these videos yet. This is not an uncommon sight in Bree. You'll just see like a random band playing. And these are all players. And they are using, there is an actual music system in the game. There are two ways to do it. You can either essentially convert your computer keyboard into a musical instrument, or what they're likely doing here is they've got scripts that they're playing that the Lord of the Rings Online game engine can execute. And they all sync up and play the song together. It's pretty neat. I've honestly never seen another RPG with this kind of system. There are concerts. There's an entire festival called Weatherstock. There are, I think that's in the summer, there are music festivals all throughout the year. It's pretty neat. It's one of the unique things about Lord of the Rings Online. I want to give them a little applause. And head on out.
What do you need?
Alright. So I've got to head to the South Bree Gate to get to Rivendell from here.
How can I be of service?
There's a lot going on here today. Alright, so here I am in Rivendell. I'm going to talk to Bilbo. So these class steeds are interesting. This is the only point, when you hit about level 40, is the only point when you have to do a class steed that works this way. None of the other class steeds that you will activate at any other point in the game work like this. Where you have to buy books like that. So the idea here is I've got these 3 books, and you can mouse over them to see a little extra information. The idea is that they're books about your class. In my case, they're books about Beornings. However, they're missing some pages. So in my case, I'm taking them to Bilbo to see what he knows about them. Each class has different books that are about their class, and each class talks to a different person to investigate the missing pages in their books. But it's the same premise for each class, is that you get these 3 books, and they're missing some pages. And you go try to figure out where are the missing pages. Alright, so here's Bilbo in the Hall of Fire. Remember from the Riddle game?
Stay and have some
No,
tea.
he's got a quest here to find the entrance to Goblin Town. Now, I won't be doing that anytime soon, so I'll take it off my tracker. Alright, so this one is A Hobbit's Holiday. So, The Hobbit's Holiday was written by Bilbo Baggins. He's got an account of the meeting with Beorn, but the pages are missing for that. So where's the chapter where he met Beorn? So he says, not many copies of this book were made, and he didn't think there'd be a lot of interest. So he's telling me I can go look for pages, and he hopes that I'm not offended by his portrayal of Beorn, because Beorn was very imposing. Alright. So I'll talk to him again. So a study of the skin changers. So it says this book talks about the skin-changing ability of Beornings. It's a description of various accounts of skin-changing throughout the years, written long ago by someone who didn't really understand what it was. So everything about this book seems exaggerated and mostly untrue. So several pages are missing, but there's a bit of parchment tucked into the front cover that says Ask Bilbo. Okay. So Bilbo says, it doesn't seem that a lot of factual study went into the preparation of this book. He doesn't even know who wrote it. He also doesn't know who placed the parchment in there. He's not even sure who would be an expert on Beornings besides Beornings. He says I should go collect the pages, but he isn't sure I'm going to learn anything interesting. Alright, and then this last one, Genealogy of the Beornings. Let me see what the description says. The book contains a number of genealogical charts, but some of the pages are missing. Don't know who prepared the book, but maybe Bilbo does, because he has an interest in genealogy and Beornings. So, Bilbo says, I love family trees, but this one seems to be incomplete. I should look for the missing pages. He says, your family is larger than I expected. This could be an interesting resource. Alright, so now you can see that I have these 3 class deeds now where I have to collect 8 pages each. And the way that it works is you can find the first 4 pages in Angmar, Eregion, and Moria, and you can find the last 4 pages in Forokel, Moria, and the Misty Mountains. So I'm heading into the Misty Mountains. It's interesting that you can get some in Moria, because that means that even if you don't finish these deeds, when you're done with Eriador, you've got essentially all of Moria to find them. Alright, so you know, I think I'm going to go turn in this quest while I'm kind of running various errands. I want to go turn in this quest to... Well, Actually, no, I'll head back to Estelden when I go to Angmar. And I'm not heading to Angmar yet. So yeah, I'll not do that just yet. But yes, I'm going to the Misty Mountains, so I can speak to Gloin in the Misty Mountains. And I also need to talk to Gloin for this quest as well. So, alright, actually, didn't want to cross that bridge. So, you get to the Misty Mountains through Rivendell, at least to the part of the Misty Mountains where all of these quests are. That is, the Misty Mountains are quite large. I'll show you on the map. All of this is the Misty Mountains. All of it. It's a very big area. These are the Misty Mountains. This is all of Eriador. The Shire is here, Ered is here, Rivendell is here. This is the Misty Mountains. But yes, there's a particular section where these quests take place. And it's the section near where Bilbo and the company of dwarves crossed the Misty Mountains into Rovanian. Am I saying that right? Rovanian? Rovanian, yeah, I think I am. Alright. Pretty Rivendell. So those class deeds will take some time to complete. You know, I'll complete them essentially over the course of doing multiple zones, quests in multiple zones. I'd have to do at least the Misty Mountains and Angmar. See, when the game was first released, see, it says Erigian, or Erigian, I can't remember which is the correct pronunciation. Erigian, Moria, and Forokel didn't exist when the game was first released, so you could only get these pages from Moria or Angmar. And then they added Forokel, and they added the ability to get some pages there, and then they added Erigian, and the ability to get some pages there, and then they added the ability to get some pages in Moria as well. It's getting snowier as I climb this pass. Yeah, got a new deed here. Find the high passes. Oh, got a little quest here to collect relic fragments from snow lurkers. Oh, whoa! Oh, he was behind me. Didn't realize that. Two. See if I can find any more. There's one up here. Oh, got another quest to defeat snow beasts. Aren't any snow? Oh, well, there are a few right here, but I'm gonna finish this relic quest first. Alright, let me get one more relic. Shouldn't be too hard to find another lurker. The lynx. Look at the lynx. Gotta find another lurker. Here. Oh, there's one. Okay, so I've got a quest to go back into Rivendell to deliver those fragments, but I'm about out of time for this episode, so I'm just going to find Gloin and then end this episode. And I'll pick up the next one with turning in those relic fragments and continuing on with the epic quest and all that. Oh, got another deed. Ruins of the Misty Mountains. Find some ruins. These are both exploration deeds that I've unlocked so far. Alright, so here's a stable master.
What do you want?
Give me Rivendell and some other spots. And here's Gloin.
No dawdling.
So much to do. Oh, and there's a deed for doing quests in the Misty Mountains. Alright.
No dawdling.
I'll turn in this quest in the next episode. So, until then, see you next time, niblings.